This episode of New Jersey Living, we're going to hop back into Hudson County and the two highest demand locations in the county as it pertains to people coming in, purchasing property in terms of inventory as well as price points. These are locations of Hoboken and downtown Jersey City. Both of these can be considered extensions of Manhattan in many ways, but this is an opportunity for us to get a little comparison, a little one versus the other, bit of pro and con, but more so which one is going to check off best for what suits you specifically with your needs. So we're going to take a look in some dining. We're going to take a look at, obviously, the ease of commute. We're going to look at some specific housing options that have just sold in just the past month. And we're in September 2024 right now, just to give a frame of reference. So looking forward to this and looking forward to some feedback as well from you all to give some insights of your own, because we have plenty of people that have some insights on both Jersey City and Hoboken with some analysis that may not align with mine, but let's see how that goes. Let's jump into it now. Welcome to New Jersey Living, the YouTube channel. My name is Corey Jones, and I am a licensed real estate agent in the state of New Jersey with Coldwell Banker, team leader of the New Jersey Living Group and host of New Jersey Living, the podcast. Our channel, we aim to really hit on all things New Jersey. So if you're into obviously real estate, the dining scene, social entertainment venues, iconic locations, then this is the channel for you. So go ahead, click like, subscribe, and notification bell to stay updated on this content that is coming your way. We aim to make sure that content is 5-star, just like our Google rating. So I'm hoping you enjoyed this ride along the way. Just note, I put this out there for those who may be viewing for the first time. You're going to notice that we really focus a lot on recent sales as it pertains to real estate, because it really gives a lot of insights on what's happening right now. If you want to look into some inventory that's actually live and active and available right now, take a look at my website. There is information up there that's a bit more updated than what you're going to find online and just a Zillow and a Redfin. You can click by address. You can search by area. I even have specific town locations that you can dive into just to get what the inventory in that town, what's going on with those. And those are actually available. They're not under contract. They're not in attorney review. Those are actual live. All right. So take a browse through that. So we're going to take a look into the Hoboken versus downtown Jersey City. Flash up a quick map. Both of them located along the Hudson River, directly across from Manhattan. Relative age of the two are similar, because Hoboken as a city and Jersey City as a city are both really, really historical cities, in that they go back as far as, probably going to be maybe within the century after New York was first being, what would have been New Amsterdam back then. But just being populated, you would have found populations on the west side of the Hudson also. But Hoboken, you're going to find probably percentage-wise more older buildings, per capita, if you will, whereas Jersey City, because of the newness of Newport, there's a lot of newer construction in Jersey City relative to Hoboken in terms of area scale, if you want to look at it that way. So we're going to look at a couple things. We're going to look in terms of criteria, and we're going to hop into a few sample properties just to compare what you get for one compared to another. What's price per square foot? What am I looking at for similar square footage or a similar price point? We're going to make some comparisons with a few items. So first, we're going to look at some criteria. I'm not going to dive into big three that I normally do with my individual episodes. So those who have been watching for some time, you know how that goes. We evaluate the three factors that cause high demand. Both of these locations are very high demand. The three factors I always focus on are proximity to the city, school ratings, and train station. So specifically, these do share all three, but it's a little nuance to that. So we're going to get into that. Really want to start there with school rating. So with school ratings, we're going to flash up niche.com. If you watch my recent Hoboken episode, you've already noticed that Hoboken is at an A rating. That's the entire district K through 12, which is why they had a check mark for school ratings. Jersey City, I'm going to have to be very specific. This is where the nuance come in. I have to be specific to a school, the school that is located downtown. And really there are two, so I'll flash both of them. One of them is going to be Bradford Elementary. So let's take a look at the Bradford rating. Bradford is PS 16, public school 16, and it has an A- rating. It's right there in Paulus Hook. So you have very much a population of students that are coming from downtown New Jersey. I don't have the school district map to see if there's any other areas that pull into that particular elementary, but it's right there in downtown. Students are going to attend that school. So many residents who have elementary age children are perfectly satisfied with the public school option for elementary in downtown Jersey City. The high school in downtown Jersey City is McNair. So McNair Academic High School, as we look at the niche ratings for this school, is an A+. A bit of nuance on this one as well. This is a magnet, so there is a requirement in terms of how students have to perform to basically test in, and there's also lottery. So even then, it's a very, very challenging environment to work your way into. So it's not just I live here and I'm going to go here. But that is one of the finest schools in terms of ratings in the city. So we have two schools that are both very, very high performing. McNair, located more in the Hamilton Park area, and Bradford, which is down towards Paulus Hook. So when we're comparing the two, let's go and weigh Hoboken, Jersey City. When it comes to education and which is going to outweigh, I'm going to have to lean Hoboken because as a parent of a student, you're not going to worry about what if our child is already a fourth grader and another year in, and then have to consider, do I want to, consider a different school option or stay within the district? And do I even want to chance being able to get into a McNair? McNair is only one of two other schools that are selection oriented in Jersey City that also are very high performing also, but it's not downtown. I'm going to lean Hoboken. Because as a parent, I'm going to know that public school option is perfectly fine, K through 12. So it's going to be a check mark on Hoboken. Hoboken up 1-0. Our next factor is going to be commute, and specifically to train station or even ferry. All right, so both locations have both options, both ferry service and train. So we're gonna flash up a quick map of Hoboken. And on the map, you'll see there are two ferry options. There's the 14th Street Pier, and then there is the Hoboken Transit Terminal right there by the PATH station towards the southern end of the city. And of course, the PATH station, the only PATH station, is right there in that same vicinity at the lower end. All right, so you have PATH and you have your light rail as well that runs down that section. The light rail, mostly in town, is going to travel right along the western edge of Hoboken, where it actually borders on Jersey City. So much of the residents that are on the west side can still have a reasonable option to get down towards the PATH station on light rail. So that's an option for people, and maybe even go all the way into Jersey City, especially if you have to commute to World Trade. But that is an option as well. So there are more than one train station technically, because you have light rail stations as well, but there's only one path for Hoboken. Now let's take a look at the map for Jersey City of the PATH stations. I did basically a little walking kind of directional trail of what it would be like to walk from Newport to Exchange Place, but stop at Grove Street. So this has pretty much a mile and a half, 33-minute walk, but you can see it. They are very close in proximity, but each of them has options that makes it convenient for those that are living a little closer to that given station. So you have three options. Now, Grove Street, there are train lines that go to 33rd Street in Midtown and to World Trade. So there are two options there in terms of taking a train. Exchange Place, the one train that's routing through Exchange Place is going to World Trade Center. For Newport, again, you could be going to 33rd. You also have the option to go into train that runs through eventually to Hoboken, will run through Newport as well. So coming from 33rd, you can go Hudson. You also can go to Grove and go to Journal Square. So not all the exact same in terms of train options for each station, but there are three. There are three different options that you have to select from. And when it comes to light rail, I haven't even counted, quite honestly, because I know obviously there's the one right there in the Newport area, then another at Exchange, and then as you go through Paula's Hook, there has to be another 3. I have to sit here and count them now, but yes, there are multiple. So there's more light rail stations in downtown Jersey City, even than the stations that are in Hoboken. So in terms of just ease of accessing a station, because if you are in that midsection of Hoboken, I'd say like anywhere from 9th, 10th down to maybe 5th, 6th, and maybe you're more on the west end, it's not super convenient compared to those that are in the double digits, 11th, 12th, 14th Street, or in the lower single digits, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th for the most part. It's not as convenient. All right. So I would definitely give, from a commute standpoint, leg up Jersey City. So tied 1-1. Now let's go to our final factor that we're at least considering on this particular episode. We're not doing big 3, so we're not talking proximity to the city, as both of them are directly across from the Hudson. We're talking the dining scene. All right. So the dining scene is really, really nice for both locations. Downtown Jersey City, if you check my episodes for Hamilton Park, there are a lot of dining options there in that general area. Paula's Hook doesn't have a significant number of them, but they have some good options in Paula's Hook also. And then we are basically in the Grove Street area, right? Harsmith Cove. So you have that Newark Ave section is shut down to vehicle traffic and just pedestrian traffic. There's a lot of options there. When it comes to Hoboken, the main stretch is going to be Washington Street, all up and down Washington Street. But when you get northern, you get up to around the Uptown 14th Street area, around not far from the Maxwell Lane. There's some newer buildings, newer restaurants in that area. And then really scattered throughout Hoboken are a lot of good eating options. We've visited some of those in some of my previous episodes. Hoboken Eats would have been one of them that's worth taking a dive into. And we're going to end up going back to do something very similar in Hoboken, in the not too distant future. Dining scene, I'm going to really have to lean one direction. But before I do, I'm just going to highlight, just to give some case in point as to what establishments really have that level of notoriety for both locations, but in terms of Jersey City and Hoboken, but why I would lean one over the other. For the dining scene, we'll start in Hoboken, and it would be remiss not to throw in Antique Bar and Bakery because of the history of the restaurant and the notoriety that it has even up until today. So definitely a place that we had stopped by for our Hoboken Eats episode, and a very unique vibe in that establishment compared to other places I've been in Hoboken. So that one definitely worth mentioning. I referenced, Frank Sinatra's ties to that particular restaurant, but you can check out my Hoboken Eats for more details on that. What I'm going to really feature, that one of the spots that I really like, and I've liked it consistently, the La Isla in the downtown section in the south end. So for me, that is some very down home feel cooking, right? Cuban, of course. And I absolutely am not disappointed. Each time that I've been to both restaurants. They have one uptown, a little bit more of a polished, refined look in terms of the aesthetic in the restaurant. But the one is that's downtown on Washington is just more have a mom and pop feel. If the weather is good, you're dining outside on the sidewalk. It's great. It's great. So definitely have enjoyed my experiences there. And now let's hop over to some of the Jersey City notables. So for Jersey City, I'm going to start with one of the more notable pizza spots I consider, and all the pizza spots I go to around the state. That's going to be Raza's and downtown. This is another spot that we took a stop at in one of our special dining episodes that we did earlier. In the earlier days of the channel, we'll get back to it at some point, but this was the Jersey City Eats episode, and we visited Raza right maybe 2 blocks down from Grove Street Path. So if you're passing through, quick stop to go out and get some pizza. Love the crispiness of the crust. Just very nice, unique aesthetic to the restaurant. And of course, now Grove Street is closed off, half of it for just pedestrian traffic and dining. So it's a great option to try if you are very, very near to the Path Station and the Grove Street specifically. Now, the other that I wanted to point out, because I had not been there until recently, and I will give them a plug now because I thoroughly enjoyed my meal. And I was in the area recording for the Hamilton Park episode when I noticed Rumba Cubana as I walked through and just in recording, and said I've never visited this particular restaurant. Let me maybe drop by one day. And just maybe a week ago or so, that was that day. So I went through and really thoroughly enjoyed the food. I would not put it on the scale of La Isla. In my opinion, it's just, again, the home feel of La Isla just still stands out to me. So I really give a lot of favor and lean that direction, but very, very quality food experience, great aesthetic to the area because you're looking at the park. There's a nice, basically plaza style, courtyard, if you will, between the two buildings, where the restaurant is located. Great place to have lunch on a weekend, or if you're a weekday and you work in the area. Nice, quiet scene, good amount of shade depending on time of day. So it was very nice. All right, so these are just two. Obviously, I'm not getting a large sample size, but if I had to lean between Jersey City, Hoboken for the dining scene, get a drum roll here, I'm going to lean Hoboken. All right, I'm going to lean Hoboken. So I'm going to go 2-1 when it comes to at least these three factors that I pointed out. Definitely drop some comments here about some places that you would highly endorse, must see, have to have. Throw that in to advocate for either location, or advocate for both. All right, so that's fine too. So this is kind of some factors that, again, food, ease of commute, school options if you're someone who has school-age children. We're going to look at some actual recent sales at this point. So I divided it between properties and we focus condos specifically because unlike downtown Jersey City, Hoboken doesn't have the same type of multifamily inventory that moves from month to month. However, condos, both of these markets have robust markets or volumes, I should say, of condos. So I wanted to find first under 1,000 square feet and sold under 1 million. So let's take a look at the side by sides for Hoboken versus Jersey City and come down to a conclusion as to, at least when it comes to real estate, what is your best buy? What are you getting in terms of the bang for your buck? We're going to start in Hoboken. First property is going to be 1108 Hudson Street. It's an 1108. So if you watch some of my previous episodes on Hoboken, you know when we get to the 4 digits, 10, 11, 12, 14, these are all properties that are uptown. So 1,000 block, 1,100 block, 1,200 block, 1,400 block, uptown, closer to the ferry location on that side, not close to the path. So 1108 Hudson Street is, and this is closer to the Hudson, $799 this one was listed at and sold at $885. Had 2 bedrooms, 2 full baths. It was on the market for 8 days total. Square footage, 870 square feet. Taxes, just under 8,700 roughly. And HOA of 387. And we mentioned HOAs before in terms of why some fees are a bit higher than others. It just depends on what has to be maintained in that building. The smaller the building and the less have to be maintained, the lower the HOA. So in this particular property, there's nothing super fancy in terms of frills, but it's hardwood floors. It's an updated kitchen. It has recessed lighting. There's been some upgrades there. The windows are replacement. They're not older. There's a walk-in closet. Bathroom is upgraded as well. This includes washer dryer in unit, which is big. This particular building does not appear to have parking, but let me confirm. Sometimes garages are off-site. You have to consider that also in Hoboken. But for parking, it does list 1 car. So there's a possibility that there was off-site parking either available or was being offered with the unit. All right. So yeah, so you get a feel for square footage wise. It's at 870. So if we were to do the math here, if we took 885,000 and divided that by the square footage, which is 870, we get 1,017. All right. So 1,017 per square foot on this particular one. May sound extreme for your typical price per square foot when you're thinking about building a home that's in the suburbs, but this is prime real estate that is often, like I mentioned before, condo, located just outside of Manhattan, along the Hudson. This is the market of what you pay for Hudson or Jersey City. So let's skip over to Jersey City and let's take a look at our Jersey City comparison for something in that same rough size and price point. Our Jersey City comparison is going to be at 126 Dudley Street, and flash up a quick map. Dudley Street, just to give you an area of Jersey City specifically, is in Paulus Hook. So you buy the marina, ferry's not too far from there, light rail, very, very convenient. So let's take a look at the details here for 126 Dudley, listed at $699, sold at $735,000, 10 days on the market. Square footage is 729. Taxes, just over $11,369. Monthly HOA, $510 for 2 bedrooms and 1 bath. So if we did the math on this particular unit, it comes out to $1,008 per square foot. But we notice also, although the price per square foot a little lower, taxes are certainly higher than the similar comparison we used for Hoboken. This, and again, we look through photos here. We are in Paulus Hook, not too far from the marina. Many of the locations you can catch a wonderful sight of the Statue of Liberty. This building would be a little, perhaps, I'm not 100% sure, but a little bit newer, but we have parking, we have gym facilities, we have, again, you see some of the exterior. The views here are very, very lovely in that section of Paulus Hook. You're getting a little bit more from that building, which is why your HOA is going to be higher. But all in all, your price point fell in low 700s versus over 800. So about almost $100,000 difference between these two. But you see what you're getting, comparable square footage, but you're paying a little bit more taxes, HOA on one end, even though you bought at a lower price. So there's a bit of a trade-off there. Love to get your feedback on those two, because I'm not weighing in check or minus on either one of these. All right, so let's get back over to Hoboken and take a look at our properties that are larger, both in size and price point. So our larger scale property in Hoboken for this particular comparison is going to be 90 Adams Street, unit number 2. Listed at $999,000, sold at $1.13 million, 15 days on market. And we see square footage, 1,363. Taxes at $9,235. Take notice of the taxes, how it's lower even when we're above $1 million sale than what Jersey City was. And the HOA is $160. This one, 3 bedroom, 2 full bath. And 90 Adams is going to be towards the southern end of Hoboken, just a 2-digit. So as I mentioned earlier, when you have the 100s, 200s, 300s, that's the lower end of the town, 100, 200, 300 block respectively. So in this, we see that there's some skylights here. So this is a unit that certainly has at least a portion of it with nothing over top of it, because it has skylight to allow some natural light to come through. Lovely hardwood floors. And there is different levels to this. So there's an upstairs, downstairs to this. And the bathroom is not super recently upgraded. There is a rooftop terrace. All right. So that's another indicator that price point is going to be on the higher end. And garage parking, fantastic. Yes, this is a 2-story building. So this is about as close as you're going to get to a single family home kind of look in Hoboken. But yes, this one just short of 1,400 square feet with 3 bedrooms, 2 full baths. All right, so this is at 160, because as you saw with the exterior photos, this was not a building that has all of this equipment and amenity. Those HOAs are probably just covering insurance for a common area and maybe snow removal. Definitely savings on the HOA side and on taxes when we compare that part to Jersey City. So let's take a look now at the Jersey City counterpart. So for Jersey City, we're going to take a look at 389 Washington Street, unit number 12F, 2 bedrooms, 2 bath, listed at $1.279 million and sold at $1.3 million, 16 days on the market. Square footage, 1,366. So roughly the same size as the unit we just took a look at in Hoboken. This one, HOA, $1,028 per month. Big difference there. And your taxes, $21,654. So let's take a look at this building, try and get an idea of why we have the HOA difference and the tax difference also. Right away, you're seeing it's a newer building. All right. So your newer construction is going to factor into having higher taxes, provided there's not an abatement or an abatement still in effect. And if you are not familiar with abatements, those happen a lot. They're basically tax breaks for those who are purchasing on the front end of new construction, where in some cases they're just a 5-year interval scale of increasing taxes. Starts very low and then it works up to the way or the level in which it will remain and continue with moving forward. Sometimes there's a 25-year abatement. I've encountered a number of those where it's same concept, starts low, incrementally works up high. This is certainly newer building. You can see the ceiling height windows. The aesthetic is a contemporary one, design, everything about it, right? So this one is going to be a building that has amenities that should warrant, and I'm looking for any amenities. I see washer dryer in unit, which is an expectation when you're at $1 million. Walk-in closet. I want to see if we do have some other amenities that are laid out. These buildings do have quite a few. Normally there's doorman, we have rooftop terrace. Yes, we have fitness center. Good. I see they have a common area. Yes, they have a good number of options that are going to be amenities for residents. So that's going to translate into a really high HOA and taxes because it's a newer building. So in this one, one beside the other, there's a lot of savings in the Hoboken case compared to this one. So this, again, gives you a little bit of weight back and forth. The locations are very, very unique. If you've spent any time in Hoboken and Jersey City, you pick up there's definitely two different kind of vibes in each respective location. You have a lot of young professionals in both areas. Festivals, weekend activity at both locations, wonderful green spaces in both locations. And we can see some of the comparative differences real estate wise. It's not exact for every side-by-side comparison, but this was just something I wanted to throw out there for your consumption. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in once again. Again, be sure to click like, subscribe, notification bell, because we have more information coming back your way. All right. So those who are watching and you are not in the area, I have a relocation guide. Definitely scan the QR code to take a look at some information more specific to New Jersey, the areas really right side outside of New York City. And if you are looking to buy in general, I have a buyer's guide for your availability and reference as well. So reach out to me if you have any questions, if you're looking for any insights, if you are a homeowner and you're looking just to get an idea of what your value is. You should know that every year at least, whether you're looking to sell or not. Offer those complimentary. So please do reach out. So again, want to appreciate everyone's support. Definitely looking forward to connecting with you again in another week. In the meantime, stay safe and stay tuned to New Jersey Living.